Comente ela.
Nós vamos falar sobre o livro mais estranho da Bíblia. Essa semana eu estava conversando com alguém e
Não,
me disse assim,
agora.
eu estou
Today
fazendo daquele jeito que eu li em Eclesiastes.
we are going talking about
Não, não faça isso não, você vai quebrar a cara.
the
Você lembra que
book
você não pode confiar em nada em Eclesiastes é o livro que
very
vai te levar à derrota, à depressão, ao suicídio. Não
terrible in
faça,
the Bible.
não siga
In this
Eclesiastes.
week, I talked with someone that told me I do this. I do the same thing that I read in Ecclesiastes. But I told, don't do this, because if no, you're going to the bad. You're going to lose. Don't follow Ecclesiastes. Don't follow Ecclesiastes.
Nós precisamos entender que eu
Ecclesiastes
Eclesiastes porque o
isn't
de Eclesiastes,
a book of the
criador,
mind of God.
eclesia é da onde veio a palavra igreja,
Just in the just when
ouvir
just in the finish. But why Ecclesiastes is in the Bible if the Bible is spirit of the God? But we need to understand that
e você vai entender
Ecclesiastes
se eu estou errado. Deus
Ecclesiastes means
que
creature.
afeta exatamente o pensamento humano
Is a reunion that a lot of people that read someone.
aconselhamento.
In this case is Solomon.
É um ótimo livro para você usar
And this counselor is wrong. You are going to understand now why this is wrong.
eles vão ver
This book
para onde
is
vai nos levar
this book is the book that project the human mind.
a sua vida.
Not is based into conscience the persons. Is a very good book that
Ele havia feito
don't believe in God. This book is fantastic, is wonderful, because
estava velho,
they are going to see where they go
quebrar.
if they stay alone God.
Aí
And Solomon, in God put this book in the Solomon's life, in the finish, when the Solomon doing the peregrinations in the finish of her life, and her reign is terrible, is wrong, and a lot of bad things.
as palavras do mestre, filho de Davi, rei em Jerusalém.
And Solomon read these the things that is in Ecclesiastes, and Solomon put her things in this book.
Quem matou foi Salomão. E Salomão, que foi o herdeiro,
And if you have your Bible, you can Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 1.
era
The works of God,
Davi.
the works of the master, son of David.
O primeiro filho morreu, o segundo foi Salomão. Ele nasceu muito mimado,
And
uma mulher também muito esperta.
we Israel has the king for 3 days, and after dying, that Solomon kill him.
A velhice perto da morte.
And Solomon has a brother but these brothers died too, and in Solomon it was created for Bathsheba, and
Deus deu para ele. Ele foi um homem que tinha
and he was 15 years when he take the throne, take the reign to assume the Israel, and they has they know the blood of that God give to him, and he has the intelligence that's it's he has a lot of intelligence Solomon had.
Salomão tinha depósitos
and we have the history about the king that came to visit him, and he stay he stay very wonderful, very impressive with Solomon, and he has a very storage, very things uh, th- that was loser, and a lot of people found this. So you can read about this in First King 4. You can read about Solomon, and and this king take the gift for Solomon, and one of these was a son, and he take the son and has the influence of Solomon. He stay fall off the Judaism, and this is the came the desire of the days of the apostles, and in this region develop the Judaism, and this is the history about this part. Whatever Solomon, he was blessed for God with intelligence, very impressive. And he was a botanic. He did the first zoo. He imported the animals, exotic animals. He was a architect. He is like a architect father. Because of this, the Marsons take the that symbol about Solomon. He was a theologic. He was an intelligent. He knows the thing. He was knows the thing. He had a lot of women, a lot of wives. He has 700 wives, and another 300, and he write this book in finish of her life and decadence, and possible with very sick. When he write this book, he wasn't good. He wasn't good. So this is like a travel that Solomon doing in the moment that was existential crisis. This is like the same thing that 8% of the persons of this world had this. This is the same the crisis of the 40 or 35, 50 age. So you think I'm looking, and I see that I don't doing anything, and I get out and going to work out, going to the gym, buy a motorcycle, and so think that is a playboy, old man in the motorcycles, and think that is a young woman, young man. So as Solomon arrived in this moment, in this crisis arriving because you have biologic things. Look for the persons and things. This is the best that you can take in your life. This is the best. Take a photograph and look again, because this is the last time that you are going to see this person. Very beautiful. So because of this, because the biological decadence, this put the man in crisis, a woman in crisis too. The Even this 18% uh, a middle is of the woman. Woman. Sometimes it's because the world, the world don't like the things that is old, like 40 years, for example. You don't have you don't have the job. You don't have the job after 40 years. The people don't want you. The Solomon talking about this. They want the young persons. And this part of my father, the best age. Not isn't, not isn't this. This is the bad age. My father talk crisis. Sometimes this crisis because you are creating of the in the church and you arrive in 50 years, uh, and you think that is I want to see the world because he he didn't see, he didn't saw the world. It's because of this. Solomon's Solomon once time told that I'm tired. I'm tired because I'm tired to follow God. I'm tired to follow the commandments. I'm tired to follow the law. I'm tired of everything. Tired. I think that exists another thing. The name that this message is the fault of the Philistine, and I will found this. I will found the. I have a young teen that think that the Philistine is in the world, and I will put God on another side, and one day I think I will come back. When I prepare this message, I stay bad. I stay. Uh, I'm and because I think I'm stay bad because I think in the persons that last everything stay I'm stay very bad because of this. The person I think in the persons that take the beer, um, going to the party, and he don't want to, he don't want to know anything. He don't want anything. I'm looking at the persons in the party. I'm thinking the persons that thinking that is happy, think that is happy, and arrive at the existential crisis. And I know this because I read this. I read the book in Ecclesiastes, and Solomon, Solomon going to the travel and found the happy without God. But God don't do parts of the travel. Solomon told, I will found the happy without God. And this go, and he go like a storm, like a tempest that very strong. Sometimes a miracle happened. Today I talking about a teen that a musician here, and he listen a voice like the voice of God, and he changed again. He come back. He involved in the crime, uh, gangs, a prison, but he listen the voice of God, and God include Ecclesiastes here because you are going to understood. You're going to understood because you are going to pass for the you are going to pass off this moment. You are going to pass off the crisis. I'm pastoring. I pass for a lot of things. I don't know. I don't know. I listen to something that I don't know what are you going to do, because you are going to affect the family, the children. We have the persons like Solomon are he's premeditates this travel, like this travel of Solomon. But this we are going to destroy him family, his family. We are going to destroy his family. But he wants to mean us mean the happy. He wants to found the happy. And Solomon, the life of Solomon, like a lot of lives here. This happening about the routine of the life. Look at the chapter 1, verse 2. That is a greatest inutility. And this word appear a lot of times here. It's a greatest inutility. Anything doing sense, doing mean. What's the main gain? And a lot of force in the sum, and so it's the routine. The monk came, the sun came, this monk came. Is you have one day after another day. It's the same thing every day. The same thing every day. This is the routine that during the crisis. And after you have 10, 20, 30, 40 years, a routine is happening, and the media arrive and apply something in in this routine. And so yeah, and Solomon told that is arrive tired to follow God, tired to the law, tired to the religions, tired to pray, tired to go into the church, going to the groups, pray groups. This is a crisis. When you try something, you're tired. When you are tired of the God, you have a crisis. Once you have you are happy with God, and you're happy with uh, your children, and after you are bad, you have not you began the crisis, and you don't have you're having a routine again and again and again, and the in the children thinks that the parents isn't anything to today. The Vesco 5, he talking about the son that came, and after came again another day, the life is tired. Or you have to know, you know something, you know a thing, you know another thing, and every knowledge, travel, and know another country. Everything came to tire the man. This is what Solomon told. You remember? I do remember. I remember of iPhone 4. I remember iPhone 4. It was 2 years ago. iPhone 4. This is a sensation of the moment. iPhone 4. But today, if you bought a iPhone 4, certainly you are going to buy the iPhone 5. But the 5 not is good. Good now is iPhone 6. iPhone 6. You don't have any support for iPhone 4 or 5. But now is iPhone 7, 7 Plus. I remember I have the phonograph. A phonograph. You have a phonograph. You put the disc to take the songs of withdrawal.
Filha, tá com eletrônico estéreo, tem que ser estéreo. E depois do estéreo, quadrofônico. Depois surround.
But it was best of the neighbor.
Você lembra TV? Quantos lembram? TV preto e branco.
But now is a stereo phone.
Ficava olhando na vizinha.
You have the virtual. So today is a stereo phone, and now is a surround.
Ficava triste.
Look, is a evolution.
Pagava 12 e cantava o hino nacional. Tocava o hino nacional.
And today you have that a TV black and white, TV black and white. Brother Courage. Look, it was a real that taking a soap opera, and it was a very good. It's amazing. And here he put the in, and after came in a TV with a color. My uncle taking one of the first TV color. In my house, we put the paper to try to put a color, and it came in a color, and after he came in a color with 720 pixels, and after full HD, and now and I remember of the full HD with 19 feet. And so today this is for the old man, and now it's 32 feet, and after you have 100 feet, 100 feet, inches. You have 100 inches, so you have the words don't stop, and Solomon is tired because of this, because everything is everything is tired. And you have a apartment that is a small, and after you bought another house with a I don't know a 7 meter square, and after you bought a triplex, but it's not as mine. Oh, so look, it's a junk of with the politics of the Brazil.
Você não vai ter sucesso na vida se você ficar com as coisas.
A car, for example, after 5 years, the persons ask to you are going to you are going to stay with this car every time. We are going to change. No, you need to buy a new car. You need to buy a new car. You need to change. Solomon told about this. He was tired that this. In the verse 8, Solomon took the responsibility in God. But what is it? The verse 18. If you have a greatest knowledge, you have a lot of bad life, because you understand the things, and you know that you don't want this, because when this arrive, you arrive in the moment that you can't support. In the chapter 2, we began the travel with Solomon. The book of Ecclesiastes, God put here not because it's him things, but is the things that man without God, because God wants that you doing this travel but just read to understand that not is this way.
Experimente a alegria.
But the person,
Venha,
but
experimente a alegria.
exist the persons that insist this, want to do this,
Só diversão, diversão.
and when he die,
Para isso
unt,
também, é,
when ceasing to die,
todas as coisas boas da vida.
never
Falta
going
tudo que
come
hoje,
back for God.
falta tudo que impede da alegria.
In the chapter 2, he began the travel and
É alegria.
came, try the happy,
Preguiça é inútil.
try the happy parties and things. Uh,
2, ele procura comédia, ele procura filmes, ele procura
but
rir, ele procura
discover very things, discover the shows, discover the happy,
agora ele entra
travel.
no alcoolismo e nas drogas.
The happy is the thing.
Então entreguei meu vinho, é extravagância, e como ele era um químico também, ele sabia
But I discovered that this unusually
e ele começa então
don't have a way.
no vinho e ele se torna um
He in the chapter 2 he found in a films, a movie theater. So and after we have a beer, we have alcoholic drinks, a mixes of the things to 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 try the things to found the happy, found the happy in the meaning of the happy. He wants this. In the Vesco 4 and 7, he saw that the alcoholics drinks not is the way. And after he talking about building apartments, building houses, building palaces, bought a farm, creating a cow, plant the things. So travels, a lot of money, musics. He found the music too.
colecionava dinheiro. Verso 8, ele se meteu no mundo do sexo, da imoralidade, da perversão.
The Vesco 8, he began to do the collections of car,
Mas também não encontrou ali aquela satisfação que ele
horses, money, with parties, collections of money.
Salomão matou
In the Vesco 9, the sexually, a lot of every kind of sexualist he experiments,
verso 9.
but don't found this satisfaction,
Sua vida
don't found the happy and the meaning of happy. And he go to the politics, and kill a lot of men. He's, he kill a lot of men. He put in a lot of taxes of the persons, take the power. And in the finish of her life, he transformed, he changed for a man, same a female. And the time the time that the sun it was finished the day, he put in a white closet, and he go just to see the just see the brightness
cheguei ao ponto de me
in the time that the sun take her closet.
desesperar.
In chapter 2, verse 20, you can see a man with his heavy conscience,
Precisava ter gritado para ele: pare!
with broken relationships, in a point to be in despair because all the work I've done. Despair is what awaits you
Deram o primeiro passo, mas ainda dá
in the end. Despair.
ele caiu no consenso.
And that time someone should be yelled to him Stop. Return to God.
Ele então ele
Young
entra
man,
numa nova filosofia de vida, do fatalismo,
woman, young
do
woman
destino. O que será,
that
será.
thinks, that
Você não
plans
pode
to
mudar
take
nada.
this trip,
Você é o
to
que
take the first step to this
as
trip,
estrelas disseram que você seria.
that
Capítulo 3,
young
versículo
boy, he
assim.
returned.
Por sinal é
But stop and return to God. In the chapter 3,
instituições de educação no mundo inteiro.
he goes to another philosophy, fatalism, destiny. What will be, will be. You cannot change anything. You are what you are, what the stars told what you should be.
O objetivo da sua vida é
In
sair dessa
3:12, humanism, which is the philosophy that is predominant in all the institutions, education institutions. That's why you see a line in all universities around the world. You see this is getting worse, which is
e aí você
the objective of your life is to go outside this life and make the earth better than when you came here. You must leave your mark. You must become immortal. That's the way to become immortal, to become eternal. You leave a painting, a book, a work, and then you can become an immortal. Go to the Immortals Academy. This is the humanism. And he got into this school, and in the verse 20, he started to be agnostic and then universalist. When everyone is just part of the life cycle, you come and go, and all the substance of the creation becomes one, and then are one, and then they are destroyed, and are one and destroyed in the life cycle. Proverbs 14:12, it says, there is a way that looks good to men, but the end is death.
fazer essa viagem em busca da felicidade e do significado.
2 Thessalonians 1:9, God speaks through the pen of Paul. He says, the final death is the place where there is no God. This is the place where these people want to make this trip. This is the final destination of this kind of trip, this kind of the Solomon's trip. This is not a happy place. This is not a meaningful place. A way that looks good to men, but the end is death. That's the place where those two husbands that got together, homosexuals, that's the way, that's the destination they're going. They're in parties, they are in immorality, sexual immorality, drinks, drugs, and maybe you're just taking the ticket to this trip. And there's more life pulse that is demanding more, greater. And chapter 4, Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, Solomon, he's observing. He starts to observe. 1 to 3, oppression, poverty, abuse, crimes. Chapter 4, the competition. There's a product. There is a better product than socialism. That competition generates more jobs, more wealth than communism. And 6, he says about the poverty syndrome. The poor people that they're just, they're like victims. They're like, they don't want to do many things to improve their lives. They don't want to go and take a job or work, and like they get some government aids, and they don't want to do anything because they get some aids from the government. This is the other side. This is the other extreme point. This is bad when a poor gets something without any work, any job. A lady came in and asked for an advice. I want the church to help me because I want to pay my car, I want to pay some debts. And I thought all church wants some kind of aid. But if you want a job, no, pastor, I don't want a job. I do some little things. I arrange myself. But sometimes people don't want the stuff I produce. But the Bible says the son of the just will not beg for bread, for food. What is happening? I just said the church can help the woman, the widow, in which all the children they are in the church, and the kids of this woman they were not in the church, and she's young. She's 50 years old. And then Solomon starts to observe the advantage to have a social life, a good family. He talks about politics, talks about image, that people will vote for people just because of the image, the good, positive image, that the marketing will make a good candidate and people will vote for him just because he's beautiful, because he speaks well, he dress well, but then people will not like his government, his governance. Last week was launched a book with 1,000 pages from President Obama's book, and Obama is angry with this author, and this author is from the same party of President Obama, and he is saying Obama is empty inside. In the end, he analyzed all life of President Obama, and in the end he concludes he's a manipulator, he's empty, a calculator. And he calculated that a man with he lived with a white woman, and then he left her because he calculated he would never be elected to be a senator being married to a white woman. And then he married the black woman, Michelle Obama. And then he joined a Christian church because he had an objective. He has no theology. He just made what is popular because she just wants to be successful. And that's the same way many people go. People just look the external side, just the appearance. Then they are fooled. And the verse from 5 to 10, the trip continues. I don't know if you have read. And chapters 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, he's very repetitive. And he says, the crazy speaks too much. He's going round and round and round and just beating about the bush. And he starts to see his signs of craziness among these notes among his writings, his own writings. That's the end of this kind of trip without God. It ends in craziness. In greater crisis, it ends in death. And after many repetitions and many crazy thoughts, in the chapter 11, he pauses. He pauses. As an old, he gives advice to the new generations. And now, crazed, old, and sick, his kingdom starting to break from inside, very tired, losing his popularity, losing the control of his whole life. And then he pauses and say about something he observed about this trip. Just observations, true observations. If you want to try to be happy, invest in other people. And these, even psychologists, they say that if you help people, if you invest people, you will be happy. This is common sense today. Throw your bread into waters. Then, negativity is bad. Do not be a negative people, a negative person. This is bad. He speaks about things without our control. There are things that only God can control. We like to feel that we are in control. You would like to make your kid like this or that, or make things like this or that. You would like to control your neighbors. You like to control your job, everything around and about your life, but you cannot. And he also says that self-esteem is regarded to your work, to your job. And as soon as the kid works, more self-esteem she will gain. The kid will gain. And do not put all your investments in just one area, because if it's wrong, if it goes wrong, you will lose everything. So it's good to have different investments. And at the end, in the end of chapter 11, he says a reality: prepare yourself to death, because death will come like the sunset. Prepare to death. This is certain. Prepare to death, like all sunsets. And in 12, the only positive thing on this book, chapter 12, still talking to young. Remember your Creator during the days of your youngship, before the difficult days, the years when you say, I have no more satisfaction. He's saying, do not go on this trip. Do not leave job. Go to your career. Go to your love, but with God. Do not go in a trip without God. Do not leave God in the closet. Do not leave God behind. It's impossible. It's impossible to be happy, to have joy, to be meaningful without God, because you were created by Him and for Him. And then he makes a description. And many books, many literature books, he speaks like a poetry. He about the sun and the stars, meaning about his initial blinding phase, his losing sight, and like your back starting to curve, and then the degeneration, the ocular degeneration, and the fourth thing, and the to be afraid to go outside, to be afraid to go outside home. And I just visited my father, and and people around him, they are old, and most part of the day, he and his companions, they are sleeping inside the home, and they just wake up, eat, and then they return to bed. And they, and this woman that is companion, close to my father, he was, he locked herself inside home because he was afraid of tithes. And now, if he if she if it's possible, she locks everything, curtains, doors, and shelves, afraid to go outside home. He and the old people, they wake up early to try to listen to the birds, but they cannot listen. They barely can listen properly the singing of the birds. Other day, a physician asked me about this woman, if she can speak properly, and I answered that the problem is not speaking, the problem if she's listening, and afraid of heights. Old people are afraid of heights because they can lose balance. Could you see old people? They walk like this. When I was 8 years old, and my father imitated old people when he was teaching about Ecclesiastes. But now my father is not imitating anymore. He is the old one, like this description. He is afraid of heights. You know why old people, they drag their feet? Because if they lift up their foot, it's too high for them. Yes, and they can fall down. Yeah, and many some old people, they're trying to kill some flies, and it was like happening. Many old people trying to kill a fly. It was funny. Thank God my wife was there and could help. And they have some heart problems, and their heart is not working properly anymore, and the heart stops, and the powder returns to powder, and people come and make the funeral, and he's preparing himself to this time, to death. But then, one more time, he will speak about all the only truth on this book. Remember just one thing, the conclusion. Now you have heard all of this. Here is the conclusion. Fear God, obey his commandments, because this is the essence of man. Hey guys, when God created you, human being, he made you for him. Inside us, there is something that is called soul and spirit that only can be filled by the Spirit of God. It is written, we were made to the Spirit of God, and that is what is in lack. That is what is lacking in the human beings. It is the Spirit of God. We are always searching more and more and more, demanding a greater joy, a greater happiness. This lacking will only be resolved when God will be the center of our life. At least this
Seja
Solomon
bom ou seja ruim,
could
você vai ser
understand.
julgado. Você vai ser julgado. As três coisas certas. Tema a Deus, obedeça seus mandamentos e você vai ser julgado.
Fear God, obey His commandments.
Velho Testamento,
And now he finishes.
Belsazar,
Because God will judge you. Because will judge you for everything you've done. Everything you've done in public and everything you've done in secrecy. Fear God, obey His commandment, and know that you will be judged. In the Old Testament, there is this story of Belshazzar king in Babylon. And when a hand just started writing on the wall, you were measured and you were found in lacking. Those words are for us. Bible says that every man was found in lacking. Bible says there is no one just. All of us will be apart from God. But Jesus came. Jesus became man and died upon a cross because He came to justify us, to put us together with God, to put balance into us. He can put us His Spirit, that He can justify us because He loves us, because He wants to be, and He knows He is the only one that can be this weight, this feeling that can feel this emptiness inside us, that can give us real meaning, so we can be really eternal. The reason of our creation, to be with God in the universe, among the creation. We will be judged. And Jesus pays the difference. It's a huge difference. Jesus pays or you pay. And we saw last week, no one is able to pay the failure of your soul. The failure of your soul. You will not live to be a sinner. You cannot, you're not able. But Jesus is able, immortal, living God. He said, I will pay for you if you become one with me. I will fill this emptiness.
alguns é porque já estiveram aqui na igreja uns 7 anos, aceitaram Cristo, estavam aqui.
Tonight,
De repente, estão olhando o mundo de novo. Você não
we have two kinds of people here.
acha que talvez, como Salomão,
Some that are on this trip. They are fooling, they are deceiving people, even their families. They do not know. Many young people told me today, I was cogitating, I am in this trip. Many, they were, excited about those things, about the world, about the parties.
são adolescentes que foram criados na igreja.
And they're pursuing this
Você era top kid, você era top team, você era
happiness,
e você só não
trying to be happy.
você
I say, stop, return to God.
tá olhando o mundo, você tá olhando.
The end is death.
A mídia tá vendendo.
The end is this destruction
Você dos seus colegas
that happened to Solomon, is despair.
lá e você vai deixar Deus um tempo.
And others, they are teenagers. They were raised in the church. They were top kids, top teenagers. And now they are betting that they can be more happy in the world, outside the church, outside Jesus. They think they will be more happy. There is a group of these people. Stop, return to God now. There, the end is death, crisis without end. There are men and women grown-ups. I know, I heard this week,
Não vai funcionar, não vai trazer
and I heard about one.
significado, vai te trazer
I believe there are others.
na sua vida.
Stop.
As crianças
Return to God. This way will destroy you. God put this ridiculous book in the Bible just to tell you to see the end of your stupid thought. It won't work. It won't bring happiness, meaning. It will bring destruction, death. It will destroy your family, your kids. It will take your kids to drug dealers. Stop. Return to God.
ore, porque eu quero Jesus na minha vida, eu não quero deixar Jesus na prateleira, eu não quero fazer essa viagem de Salomão.
And today, God is saying, return to God. Return to God. 80% of people will go through this crisis, this existential crisis. So pray for Jesus. Pray for Jesus. Say that you don't want to go on this trip, this Solomon's trip. Pray for God. Pray for Jesus to deliver you from this kind of desire.
Tudo que ele fez, antes que você imagine,
And
a morte te leva.
only Jesus can fill this emptiness and make you search more this lack of Jesus, and you will never find meaning. You will be in a hole, in a black hole, apart from God, apart from creation, apart from real happiness. The death will take you, and you will not be satisfied, because you were made to Jesus. Understand that you were made to Jesus. Now He wants you. He made whatever was necessary to go inside with His Spirit. Ephesians 3. When you say that you want God, He will go inside with His Spirit, and He will fill this emptiness, and you will be a son of God, and you will find true happiness, and you will be content with what you have, because you are filled. You are filled. You are happy. You have meaning.
O que a gente tem que fazer? A gente tem
This
que
week,
fazer.
I went for an ice cream with Lusmar that worked here with many years, and he's retired and have some consultations. He works in São Paulo, and he said, "Yes, David, you're right.
A única solução é a gente falar de Jesus. É o que vai trazer.
What we must do is what Nova Igreja Batista is doing. Is to do what NIB is doing. Is Palavra Fest, is saying and spreading the gospel, speaking about the gospel, about Jesus, appealing for Jesus, speaking about Jesus. This is what will bring joy, meaning, and the joy of God, and the real happiness. Jesus said, seek first for God, and whatever you need, you will be satisfied. This emotional emptiness that tortures your soul. This moment, I will ask some pastors and some musicians and some group leaders, husband and wife, come here. We'll make a moment of appeal. And some couples from the prayer groups, this moment will open an appealing moment. The person that is going through this emotional crisis, this existential crisis, many people I've been seeing all these days, and children abandoned by their parents because their moms or dads, or the mom and dads, they're in a trip in pursuit for happiness. And if you want someone from these people to pray pray for you, we need more people to pray for other people that are in crisis. We need people that will help. Take their names, take their contacts, pray for them, and keep praying. Pastor David, I've never met Jesus. I searched for happiness in drugs, in crime, in gangs, in prostitution, sexual immorality. I searched for happiness. I need Jesus. I need this Jesus. Come here. Come here. Come here. And they will pray, and Jesus will go into your life, and the Spirit of God will fill you, and you'll never be the same. And they will sing, come, 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 come here. It's a brave act. It's a decision. Decide not to go on this trip. Lift up, stand up. Come here, in the balcony, come here. I want never abandon God. Come here, come here.
Ele jamais negará esse pedido. Ele vai te preencher. Ele te aceita.
Singing.
Ele te faz filho, te perdoa os pecados. Te preenche o vazio. E nunca mais serás o mesmo.
He will fill you. He accepts you. He makes you his son. He forgives your sins. He fills your emptiness. You'll never be the same.
Se Deus hoje falou com você, não deixa para amanhã. A única coisa certa é que a morte vem depois da morte, é o julgamento. Deus te colocou nessa terra por pouco de tempo.
If you want to pray, pray. If you want to sing, sing.
Não te forçará nunca.
If God has spoken to you, say yes to Him. Because the only certain thing is death. God has put you here on this earth to give you the opportunity to decide. If you say yes to Him, He will be with you. Please, guys, take the names of these people. Pray for them. Keep praying. If there are more leaders, come here. Come here. Come here. People, come here to pray for these people. People from the balcony. Many people are coming. There are people waiting for you. Do not go without receiving the feeling of God inside you, the feeling of this emptiness. If you know how to sing, sing along.
Mais alguém? Corra aqui. Nós vamos encerrar. Ah, Senhor, a minha vida. Aceita, Senhor, esta aliança. Aroma suave
Come here, we're about to finish.
Pai querido, nessa noite, eu te louvo primeiro por ser o Espírito abundante que preenche os vazios de nossas vidas, por ter nos criado para o teu Espírito, por ter te revelado através
If you're an English speaker and you want to reach us through the web, please access our website.
veio decidindo, Senhor, te convidar
Oh,
esse lugar que a ti pertence,
Heavenly Father, I praise you
aonde hoje o teu
because your so generous spirit that fill us
perdão do pecado que veio sobre
to have revealed yourself through your word.
teus filhos e teu Espírito habita neles.
And Father, I praise you for everyone that listened this word and invited you to be filled by you into this place inside us that was made to be filled by your spirit and receive the forgiveness. The word says that people that receives you, they are sealed with the Spirit of God. I ask you for those that are deciding not to go on this trip and they're being tempted by these enemies calling. Oh Father, give them the strength. Give us the strength to be firm. Make them understand that sometimes the routines, the tedious life, but make them understand that 1,000 days with routine with you is better than any other day without you. Make your face smile onto them. Hundreds of people, they are walking. Please bless them. Make anything do not interrupt their way to you. Please bless them. In Jesus' name, amen. Have a wonderful night and have a nice week. Que mensagem, hein?